Okay, hey everybody, it's Mrs. Peterson, and today we're going to be talking about placement and divisions. And this is going to be one of the main things that gets us started with graphic design. It's one of the main concepts in design, and we'll be using it all throughout the year. So on the next page, I want you to read the sentence, because graphic design has a grammar. Go ahead, read that sentence. So if you were like me, it took you a minute to sort of read through it because it is not in a correct grammar. So it would be better read like this. Language without grammar is neither beautiful nor meaningful. So effective placement, meaning where you're going to put things, and effective division, mean how you're going to divide a page or a design, is the underlying grammar of visual vocabulary. And Jim Krause is the author of the book that we use for our graphic design class. So let's go on. The original sentence had all of the right elements of a good sentence, yet it lacked the proper divisions and spacing necessary to communicate its message. Look at it one more time. All right, spacing was off and the divisions were off. If you want to be a good writer but did not understand or employ good grammar, you cannot be successful. Without grammar, you can have poems, song lyrics, inspiring speeches, all that kind of stuff. A good design captures and holds attention. It successfully communicates a message and makes it interesting and memorable. Can you remember what the first sentence was on the last slide? What about the second sentence? There you go. The second was a lot easier to read. How can spacing and placement without design, let's try that one again. How can spacing and placement within design be compared to grammar within language? Think about that for a minute. How can spacing and placement within design be compared to grammar within language? The principle of unequal spacing. You guys, we're going to talk about this all year long, and it comes up a lot of times when you will be describing your work. Which of these two compositions is more interesting, the left or the right? Here's the left, here's the right. Look at the left, look at the right. So which one is more interesting? Which is more interesting? Now at the beginning of the year I get a lot of discussion about this, but we're going to go on to the next slide. The composition on the left looks static and uninteresting because it's placed exactly 1 inch from the top edge of the page and exactly 1 inch to the right of the left of the page. In other words, it has equal spacing in its vertical and horizontal axis, but the composition on the right has unequal spacing. When you measure to the point from the top, left, right, and bottom edges of the page, you will find that none of the measurements are the same. Why does it make this composition on the right look more interesting? Let's look at the back again. So the one on the left is the same distance here and the same distance here. But the one on the right, look, it's closer here, it's further here. It also makes the distance different here. And so we actually are more attracted to something that makes us look a little bit longer at it. Because this one is 1 inch from each side, it's static. But this one will make us look a little bit longer, and that's a really interesting part of design. So the principle of unequal spacing. Variety in spacing, just as in life, adds spice. Visual variety allows the eye to play. Play encourages exploration, and exploration draws the viewer in. So the longer you can get someone to look at your design, because they're looking around at different things, the more popular or the better ad you have, because people are looking at it longer. The principle of unequal spacing can also be used for multiple points. Your designs will often have more than one point of interest. If you want to draw viewers into your design, make sure you carefully plan their placement and spacing. Make sure your points of interest are unequally spaced from each other and from the vertical and horizontal edges of the composition or page. Try it out. It says here, take a piece of copy paper and draw a dot or a small shape that is unequal spaced from the 4 edges of the paper. Go ahead and try that, and you might have to use a ruler. And then you're going to add another point to your paper and make sure that none of the measurements between your points of the edges are the same. So you will definitely want to use a ruler, and you want to make sure that they are not at any rate the same distance from any side of the paper or each other. Keep going. See if you can place 5 dots on your page using unequal spacing. Use a ruler to measure the distances with an extra sheet of paper to make sure that none of the distances match. This is a great experiment even at home, because it's going to get you ready for the next thing that you're going to do on Canvas. Key points. Variety in spacing of important points of interest in your design creates interest and adds energy to your design. And also, don't allow the spacing in your design to just happen by accident. You need to plan it. Take control and be intentional about the placement of your points of interest and the other elements in your design. Assignment. So, there are 2 choices here, and I am actually going to do another quick video to show you how to do it on Canvas. But you can use a piece of copy paper and create an interesting composition with 3 points of focus, or you can draw or cut or paste from magazine 3 items that are related. So a flower, a tree, and a park bench or something like that, things that are related. You can glue them onto your paper on what you've learned about the principles of unequal spacing. Keep in mind that varying sizes of your points of interest will probably add a visual appeal. So what I'm saying is make sure you vary the size of your 3 items. So they all shouldn't be the same size on the page. So that means some can be bigger or way bigger, or some can be smaller or way smaller. I'm going to do a demo on Canva, which would be your other option. So you can draw it, you can cut out items on a magazine, or you can do it on Canva, and I'll do a quick tutorial in a separate short video. Alright, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to do, and when you finish, you're going to upload it to Slack on the Graphic Design channel. Alright? Okay, bye-bye.